3D fighting games are amazing. I love beating my opponents to a pulp and outsmarting them with counter-attacks, special moves and well-timed defensive guarding. Of course, you can do all of this in 2D fighting games, so what makes 3D fighting games so special? Well, there's more possibilities to change up how you fight, and environmental damage can also play a big part in 3D games. The 3D fighting craze was in overdrive, and game developers and publishers wanted a piece of the pie. Enter Capcom. Yes, everyone's favourite 2D fighting company wanted to try their hand with this new genre. The game in question? Star Gladiator. What's that, I hear you ask? Well, it was an arcade fighting game released in 1995 and Capcom's first in-house 3D fighting game. What about the PS1 port? Is it worth a look? I guess we better find out. Star Gladiator begins with a cutscene, as most fighting games do. This shows off the characters and the setting. Although I have no idea what is going on story-wise, I can definitely say this game is Star Wars inspired. Look at this T-Rex! Hold on, a T-Rex? What is this? Star Wars or Dino Crisis 3? Jokes aside, I like the sci-fi setting, and I know not many fighting games take place in space. Apparently, this was meant to be a Star Wars game, so this explains a few things.
Star Gladiator.
When you finally start, there's 9 characters to choose from. There's a couple of different species, and all characters have different motives and reasons for trying to defeat each other. To learn more about their stories, you will need to beat the game with said fighter, or get the instruction manual that I don't have. Anyway, Star Gladiator puts you on a 3D ring that floats in the air. It's like an elevator, but better. Beating your opponent is the aim here. You need to win all the rounds to progress to the next fight. In the arcade mode, there's 10 stages in total. As expected, the fights start out simple enough, letting you get a decent feel for your character and their abilities. But once you pass stage 5, the game starts to put you in your place. You better learn quickly while also taking advantage of the mechanics this game offers to you. Right, the basics first. If you've played Soul Blade or Virtua Fighter before, the controls are pretty standard. You have a weak attack, a strong or heavy attack, a kick button, and a guard button. You can press a few buttons to chain a combo of attacks together, so an example would be 3 punches or kicks in a row. You can also grab opponents.
KO.
Handy if you come across someone who blocks a lot, or if you want to dish out your own idea of punishment. This is also a great way to get foes out of the ring, which you can do in this game. You can also sidestep to dodge attacks, and even attack those who aren't quick enough in the back. The perfect counter-attack. Lastly, you can do 2 types of counter-attacks. One will turn your character blue, and they will pose. If the timing is correct and your opponent attempts to attack you, you must press a button combination and you can damage them with a counter-attack. Another will turn you red, and in theory the same thing should happen, albeit with more damage. Sadly, while I got decent with the blue counter-attack, which is more defensive, the red one I never seemed to get working. I guess I'm just crap at this, I don't know. Oh, and you may have wondered what this plasma meter is for. Is it ammo? No! Basically, if you press a certain combination of buttons when you attack, the meter builds up. If you manage to press the right sequence of buttons and fill up the meter, you unleash a special attack that cannot be blocked. This is difficult to pull off, so when you do, consider yourself lucky. That's pretty much the gameplay mechanics for you folks. Now let's dive into how this all feels to play. In truth, at least for this PAL version anyway, the game won't be winning awards for best fighting game. The control reminds me of the first Tekken game. In other words, it works and you can master the controls, but I cannot help feel how heavy everything is. It's as if there's a slight delay to me pressing a button only for the action to occur half a second later. It's not awful, but it can often mean I'm jamming on the buttons hoping for a faster response. This game is not about speed for the most part. If you button mash, you will end up stuck in a combo kicking or punching the air. Not good. The sidestepping is also a bit clunky to use. It does work as expected, but you need to press it in advance, otherwise you will get hit. Soul Blade does this mechanic better. I also noticed that dodging outward has a wider arc than dodging inward. Not sure why they did it in that manner, but it ends up giving the opponent time to recover since you end up so far away from them. I also found myself getting up the wrong way a little too often for my liking when my foe jumped over me. Turning around isn't quick either, thus giving opponent a free shot or two. At least when you are down, getting up is fairly quick, so good job on Capcom there. It sounds like I'm hating on this game, but in truth I do enjoy Star Gladiator. Although a bit slow, the game has a decent amount of combos to pull off and all the moves look flashy and fun to do. When you get a good feel for the game, the play experience adjusts and so do you. This is where I realised how much effort went into getting the balance of the characters right, and of course we can marvel at some of the goodies on offer, such as the graphics. I think this game looks pretty good. The 3D models are well animated and are pretty detailed. The close-up shots certainly prove my point here. The effects are neat and look nice. It helps remind me that I'm in a sci-fi setting. The use of 3D objects and 2D backdrops give the locations depth, adding to the environmental aspect the game is trying to convey. The sound effects are neat with nice punch and some obvious homages thrown in for good measure. Clearly that's from Star Wars, right? The music is really good. I wasn't expecting much, but man, this soundtrack rocks. Although the space influence in this department is somewhat limited, the mostly rock songs in the background really elevate the action and keep you coming back.
Ready, fight!
I will also admit the songs are catchy and memorable too. Thank God they also last a while. One pet peeve of mine is when background music loops too much or only lasts about a minute at the most. Not in this game, it's how it should be. At the end of the day, this is a pretty decent game. It will not be for everyone, but Capcom's first attempt at a 3D fighting game was not half bad. I'm glad I found this for a decent price. Well, there we are. A good look into Capcom's first foray into 3D fighting games. It's not mind-blowing as I said before, but it's a good start and a good learning experience for the company. However, some of you may have noticed something peculiar. The game's subtitle says Episode 1. Where's Episode 2? Funnily enough, the sequel was called Plasma Sword Nightmare of Blitzstin, or Star Gladiator 2 Nightmare of Blitzstin in Japan. This saw a release on the Dreamcast in 2000. Maybe I should get it to see if anything was changed or improved? Alright, let me know what you thought of Star Gladiator, and until my next video, I will see you soon.